Ever feel like your money has a mind of its own? Like you're playing a game, but nobody ever told you the rules? Well, today we're handing you the keys. We're going to demystify the rules, decode the big players, and show you how to make this system work for you. Let's dive in.
Oh man, this is a universal feeling, right? You put in all the hours, flipping burgers, writing code, whatever it is. You get that amazing notification you've been paid. But then you look at the actual number that hits your account, and you're just like, wait a minute, what happened?
So seriously, where did the rest of it go? It feels like some kind of magic trick, but it's not. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how the trick is done. All right, first up, let's break down the actual rules of the game. These are the big, invisible forces that are always affecting every single dollar you earn and spend.
First on the list, taxes. Look, nobody loves paying them, but it's not just money disappearing into a black hole. It's basically our subscription to civilization. It's what paves the roads, funds the schools, and yeah, keeps things running. Is it kind of a pain? Sure. But is it necessary? Absolutely.
And it feels like the system gets a piece of the action at every turn. You're taxed on the money you make, the stuff you buy, and even the money your investments make. But here's a little secret. The government actually gives you ways to lower that investment tax with things like a 401k. Then you've got Social Security and Medicare, which are really just forced savings plans for your future self.
Okay, next up is the silent thief, inflation. You know how that bag of chips you love seems to have more air and less chip every single year, even though the price went up? That's inflation. Your dollar is technically still a dollar, but it just doesn't stretch as far. It's quietly eating away at your buying power.
So what's actually causing it? Well, sometimes it's simple. Too much money chasing too few goods. Other times, the whole supply chain gets tangled, and it just costs more to make and ship things. And get this, sometimes it's literally just a self-fulfilling prophecy. We expect prices to go up, so we rush out to spend, which, you guessed it, causes prices to go up.
All right, so we've got the rules down. Now let's meet the major players who are running this game, starting with the one we all know, the bank. You know, when we think of a bank, we usually picture this giant, impenetrable vault full of cash. But that's not really the whole story. It's actually a lot more like a financial matchmaker, connecting people who have money with people who need it.
And here's the big secret to how it works. It's called fractional reserve banking. So let's say you deposit $1,000. The bank is only required to keep a small fraction of that, maybe $100, and the rest, it's already gone, lent out to someone else to buy a car or start a business. Your money isn't just sitting there, it's constantly moving, and that process actually creates more money in the economy.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, my money isn't even there? And that sounds kind of terrifying, right? But don't worry, there's a safety net. In the US, your deposits are insured by the government, usually up to $250,000. So even if the bank makes a bad bet, your cash is safe. So what happens when the whole system starts to get a little shaky? You get a recession. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a party. When the economy is booming, the music is loud and everyone's dancing. A recession is when the music suddenly stops, the lights start to flicker, and everybody gets nervous. It's a painful but pretty natural part of the economic cycle. You know, when you really boil it all down, this entire massive financial system runs on one simple thing: trust. A dollar bill is just a piece of paper with some ink on it. The only reason it has any value at all is because we've all collectively agreed that it does. It's a shared belief, and that's what keeps the whole thing going.
Okay, we've looked at the big picture, the massive systems at play. Now let's bring it all the way back home. Let's talk about you and the numbers that define your financial story.
First up, let's talk about interest. And man, this thing is a total double-edged sword. When you're in debt, interest is your worst enemy. It turns a small mistake, like that $12 burrito you put on a credit card, into a massive $50 regret. But when you invest, it becomes your best employee, working for you 24/7, making you money while you sleep. It's all about which side of the equation you're on.
All right, next up, your credit score, that magic 3-digit number. And here's what's so important to understand. It has nothing to do with how rich you are. It's purely a measure of how trustworthy you are. It's the system's way of asking one simple question. If we lend you money, are you going to pay it back?
So how in the world do they calculate this thing? Well, it breaks down into these 5 main parts. But by far, and I mean by far, the most important one is your payment history. Just pay your bills on time. If you can master that one single thing, you are already way ahead of the game. Okay, you know the rules, you know the players, and you understand your own personal scoreboard. Now for the fun part. Let's talk about how to take all this knowledge and turn it into real power. Remember inflation, that silent thief we talked about? Well, just letting your money sit in a savings account is like trying to outrun it in slow motion. You're gonna lose. The only real way to fight back and win is by investing. That's how you put your money to work and grow it faster than prices rise.
And this is where the real magic happens. It's called compounding. At first, it's slow. After 5 years, your investment might grow enough to buy you a really nice dinner, but you stick with it. And after 15 years, it could be a new car. You stay patient for 30 years, and that's how you build a retirement. Your money starts making money, and then that money starts making its own money. It just snowballs.
So how do you actually get ahead? It all comes down to understanding value. Take a look at this. You've got 2 handbags, both made of basically the same stuff, fabric, a zipper, some thread. But one costs 100 times more than the other. Why? Perceived value. It's the story, the brand, the belief. And when you invest, that's what you're buying into. The potential for future value.
But really, the single most important lesson in all of this is that time is your greatest asset. Wealth isn't about getting lucky overnight. It's built slowly, consistently over decades. You don't have to be a genius to get rich. You just have to be patient and let time do the heavy lifting for you.
So, I'll leave you with this. Every single day you trade your time, your hours, for money. Think of those hours as your own personal currency. The path to financial freedom isn't about some secret trick. It's about learning how to train your time and your money to start working for you. So the real question is, how are you going to start?